But it is July, which means summer outdoor basketball leagues in the borough and across the city are sizzling hot. Joining me for a discussion about some of the long-established leagues, as well as what's new in summer basketball circles, is Eric Hicks of GameOverNYC.com.
Good to be here, man.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, man, this is my time of year.
Hey, I know, camps and everything, right?
Yeah.
And also, man, who plays, and also, I think he's quite a cook, too. We might have to invite him back, right?
Okay.
Isaiah Andrews.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, gentlemen. Besides that, I think you, I think also we're involved in a little graffiti. Well, okay,
plead the fifth on that one.
In the trains, riding trains, graffiti back in the 70s?
Back in the day.
Back in the day, all
Way
right.
back.
Way back in the day before crack, ate drugs, and bad name. Okay, good. All right, let's talk about summer basketball. What's happening, man?
Everything is happening. This is the time of year where summer basketball in New York City explodes. I mean, the guys come back from either college or some of the high school guys really get to hone their games and hone their skills, and a lot of it is done in summer basketball. It's the greatest show for free in New York City.
All right, let's go down some of these tournaments, especially the top high school ball players are playing at the Conrad McRae here.
Conrad McRae, also known as Dean Street. I mean, that is probably the hottest one for high school basketball, both boys and girls.
Now, do they play during the week or the weekends?
They play during the week and the weekends, but the main thing is it's more structured than your street ball because it's a lot of the high schools put their teams together, or the core of their teams are from the high schools, and they play a more structured game than some of the street ball stuff where you can really catch some high-flying entertainment, man. You go over to Gershwin, over there, that's the East New York Classic. It's crazy over there, crazy.
You play, right? I know you're playing in Europe. You're getting ready to go to Europe. You also played in a lot of these leagues.
Yes, I played over at West 4th. Actually had a game a couple weeks ago. I played for Team TNP. It was a great experience, man. There's high, like you said, high-flying entertainment, but also you see some young kids that have a lot of fundamental principles to their game, which is the contrary to what you see in street ball. But great basketball all the way around, man, especially here in New York, the Mecca.
Now, as far as, are some of these leagues on a professional level, or what's the, or some of the money, you know?
Here's the reality of it. It's not on a professional level,
okay.
But you will find pros that come to play, like at the Entertainers Classic or Tri-State Classic, even over at Gershwin, the East New York Classic. Pros will come play there, and you'll hear the stories like Kevin Durant, 81 points. I remember Jamal Tinsley years ago went down to the Rucker, and he was like averaging 50 points a game and things like that.
The Black Mamba also showed up.
Oh yeah,
right?
well, even President Clinton showed up down at the.
And he played though, the Black Mamba.
Oh, the Black Mamba played. Yeah. So it's not on that level because pros will quickly separate themselves and distinguish themselves from the street basketball player because they're like a whole other animal.
And plus, some of them don't want to get hurt either, right? They'll play 1 or 2 games.
But let me tell you something, it brings out the best in some of those street balls because they really try to take it to the pros. So.
Mm-hmm. What's been your best experience? I know you played at West 4th. Where else have you played across the city?
I would probably say, well, so far in the city, you can definitely find some great competition down at the Brooklyn Bridge Park. I mean, like you said, you find some collegiate players, maybe some European professional players that come over, especially in the summertime. I've had some pretty good college experience playing basketball as well. It's probably the most fun I've had. But I've only been here in the city for about 2 months, so with the help of Eric, I'm learning more about where to find the good run at, and there's a lot more places to go, man. So that's a journey as well, finding where the good run is.
When it comes to college coaches who are looking for the next best thing out there, that's maybe a hidden jewel, are they out there scouting around too?
Well, let me tell you, it's a funny thing because how I met Isaiah is he was playing in the park near the Sky Dome, and I'm like, this guy's out there killing everybody. What is he doing out there? Then a couple of days later, he walks into the place and we strike up a conversation. He's trying to play overseas. I have a friend that's a coach and part owner of a team overseas, so you can get exposed from just being out in the streets and out in the park. I know college coaches that have built their entire rosters, local coaches, let's say 80% of their roster, by scouting these street basketball tournaments and picking players. Mm-hmm. So it can happen. You never know who's watching.
When it comes to the EBC, let's talk about that. It's basically entertainment, right? Basketball. I mean, it's good. Is it somewhat, I don't want to mix it in with the Harlem Globetrotters, but is it somewhat on that level to that degree of entertainment?
Let me
and
tell
are
you
they playing
something.
also?
If you can't play, you're going to go out there and get your behind tore up. Okay. So those guys out there can play. They can really, it happens to be entertaining too. but they can play.
And the great thing also, a lot of rappers, a lot of entertainers sponsor these teams.
Yeah, that was kind of back in the day, and there's still some of that that's happening. But the hottest places now, along with EBC, is like Dyckman. I mean, Dyckman is off the hook. If you don't get there by 4 o'clock for a 6 o'clock game, you might not get a seat.
And in Dyckman, do they play every day?
During the week, yes, during the week. And I think the kids play on the weekends. But you want to go for the unlimited tournaments during the week, the unlimited games during the week.
And the late games, right? Those are the games.
Yeah, but all the games, I mean, you get like Kimball Walker show up there and drop 50. I mean, it's like ridiculous stuff that you see out there. They're just absolutely unbelievable.
Now, I was in the New York Times the other day. I think you posted Kyrie Irving.
Oh, that was Kyrie Irving versus Nate Robinson. That game actually took place a few years ago.
Okay.
But that's at Nike Pro City down at Baruch College. You want to see some high-flying, some very entertaining basketball. That's where a lot of the pros go to stay in shape for the summer.
We're talking about men, but what about the women? Do they get a chance to shine
Same
during
thing.
the summer?
Dean Street, women off the hook, off the chain, a lot of time. Gun Hill in the Bronx. Excellent women's league, excellent men's league. The tournament itself, excellent. So
I think West Fourth also has a women's division as well.
Yeah.
What would you say if you had top 5?
Wow. You know, I'd have to say, you put me on the spot. Man, these are my friends. These guys I do business with. All right, so not in order. Not in order.
Hey,
not in order.
Hey, you can call me Ray, you can call me Jay, but you know.
All right, not in order. We're going to go Dyckman, not in order.
Okay.
Tri-State Classic.
Not in order.
Not in order. No, these not in order because I might have said Gershwin
this
first.
This is hypothetical. All right, good.
I'm loyal to the boys
right.
and the men over at Gun Hill that run that tournament now for about 15 years now. Dean Street for the high school is off the hook. You can always get a great run at the BRC, but the Sty Dome, the Brooklyn Sty Dome, is number 1, baby.
All right.
Number 1.
What's happening at the Sty Dome?
The Sty Dome, we got a new thing called Trey 21, which is a new concept in 3-on-3 basketball. It starts out 3-on-3, goes to 2-on-2, and then it's 1-on-1. It's the first team to 25, and as I say, you start out in 3-on-3 for the first 7 minutes, then 2-on-2 for 5 minutes, and then 1-on-1. So I mean, you get all aspects of the game. There's a lot of strategy. Who are you going to take off the court for the 2-on-2? That guy that you take off the court has to play the 1-on-1. So we're getting some back in. The 2 local teams are looking at helping us with that, but it looks like the Knicks are winning out.
Yeah, one across the city.
Yeah, man,
right?
the Knicks, you know.
One across the borough.
It looks that way right now, man. It looks that way. We'll know this afternoon at 4 o'clock.
They don't want to give you any love up the street here?
Man, I don't want to get into that right now. You're a troublemaker, you know that.
I'm just asking questions.
But we also got summer camp at the Sty Dome. Yeah, 5 weeks of summer camp, and you know, you can come on over and get some great instruction. Isaiah coaches there, but we also got Charles Jones, the legendary Charles Jones, 2-time NCAA scoring champion, took the LIU, Blackbirds?
Yeah, Blackbirds.
LIU Blackbirds to the NCAA tournament. Charles Jones is one of our instructors there.
So, what's your plans after the summer?
My plans after the summer, I'm looking to be in tip-top shape. I'm working out right now at the Sty Dome, thanks to Eric and the team over there. Looking to go overseas and facilitate myself, man. I mean, be open to whatever opportunities they have over there. I know there's also some opportunities over here through the NBDL and a few different developmental leagues and summits that I can go through. But mostly, I like to tone myself to European ball. It's more fundamental.
Now, as far as your college ball, where did you play your college ball?
I played at Mercer. It was a Division II junior college in West Windsor, New Jersey, like central New Jersey, about 10 minutes outside of Trenton. My head coach was Howard Levy, comes from a long line of Princeton basketball. Pete Carrill was his mentor, basketball Hall of Famer. So real fundamental basketball, which I think is awesome to mesh out here in New York, where you find a lot of the fancy, more stylish basketball. If you can find a young player like that has the stylish skills and ability and mix it with the fundamentals, you have a monster.
When we look at summer basketball also, a lot of it came from Rucker. A lot of these leagues were birthed out of the Rucker tournament. But also a lot of them also were birthed out of Citywide, which was by Gulf and Western,
Back
which
in the day,
also
absolutely.
was behind Madison Square Garden and the Knicks, right? Sonny Werberlin,
Right,
that group.
right, back in the day.
And it was back in the 70s, I think, unfortunately, after the death of Martin Luther King, a lot of these leagues started to come on, and they were sort of giving back, I guess, in a way.
Well, basketball for the inner city is like a rite of passage, street basketball, and you'll find that there are tournaments in every community. Like, we can talk about the Rucker and things like that, but every community on a Saturday afternoon, you'll see a tournament going on. And that has happened with the explosion in basketball in the country in general, because there was a time period where we went through where the parks were empty. But all of a sudden, the parks are being, you're seeing more and more kids out there playing. And I think that's with the proliferation of what's going on with the NBA and the excitement of the Knicks. Knicks got some exciting things going on.
Yeah, speaking of Knicks, right, let's talk about the draft real quick. What happened? They got Derrick Rose, and they have
Well, that's in the
Noah,
trade, right?
I mean, they got Joakim Noah.
Yeah, Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose, which, I heard that's like the check engine light is on, a team with the check engine light constantly on, because when are they about to break down? But we're going to hope that doesn't happen. These guys do have a history of injuries, but I think there's some exciting moves that Phil Jackson has made finally.
Right, okay. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, personally, I'm a Sixers fan, so I got some excitement involved in what's going on with Ben Simmons being drafted. But when it comes to the Knicks, it definitely does have an effect on the city, the excitement level. I do believe that New York should always have a prime team on the floor.
Linsanity's also back, but you know what?
In Brooklyn. The Sixers have a professional basketball team?
Anyway,
Shout out to Rob Holford also at the Brooklyn Stadium.
thank you. Thanks for coming.